Hi.
Hey,
How's everybody doing? We're back. Hard to believe, isn't it? I don't know.
we're in our home studio where he gets to play with all his green screen backgrounds and
Yeah,
good
I had such
stuff.
such such a fun time doing all of this stuff. And yeah, so we have another episode number 235 of What Does This Button Do? Yeah, it's an educational show about smartphones and technology with us geeks on tour. Yeah, we have a slideshow here. And that's us. We have a YouTube channel here. If you're watching on YouTube, you could also be watching here on Facebook. If you're on YouTube, be sure to subscribe and click the button that reminds you and gets all of that stuff there. Chris always likes to start off with a quick tip. You have a quick tip for us, Chris?
Yeah, we want to jump into this sharing a Google Photos album. And we have a pre recorded segment, just a couple of minutes on this, and we'll talk more about it later. But here you go. Hi, this is Chris Gould with Geeks on Tour, and this quick video is about how to share an album with a link. So in Google Photos, first find your albums, then open the album you want to share, and click the share button. This is on the web, on a web browser, either Mac or Windows. Then create link and copy. Now you can paste that link wherever you want, in a Facebook post or in an email. So you would just right click in your email or Facebook post or whatever and paste. And when people receive that link, they can click on it and see your pictures. On an Android phone, it looks like this. I'm in Google Photos app. I find my albums. I open the album I want to use. I find share. And then get link. And link is copied. Now I can go somewhere else and paste that link. On an iPhone, Google Photos, find your album, open the album. Share is under the three-dot menu. Then you have to do share to and create link. And copy. Now you can go somewhere else and paste. So, for example, long press and paste. Sharing a link to an album is the most efficient way to let other people see your pictures.
Okay.
The main point with that sharing the link is that anybody who can see the link can click on it and see your pictures.
So you don't need to have Google Photos.
Exactly. You don't even need to have a Google account.
Oh, okay.
You just click on the link, and we will talk a little bit more about it later.
Okay. Well, great. Well, hi, I'm Jim, and here together with my wife, Chris, we are Geeks on Tour. Do you think your smartphone is smarter than you? And you have questions about your iPhone or your iPad or your Samsung or your Android tablet or phone, and how do people learn about these amazing devices?
Well, we are geeks, also known as propeller heads.
Yeah.
We are geeks who teach, and we think the best way to learn about these devices is in bite-sized pieces on a regular basis. So we came up with this YouTube show, and we pick a topic each time we give it and go into a little bit of depth. And then all of our content, all of the recordings are collected on our website at geeksontour.com.
Cool. So, Chris, where were we?
Well, yeah, we are home now, but although that's nice for us, what we're focusing on is that we were in Italy all of last month. So that map on the left there is everywhere that we went in Italy. and there's a photo, and we're going to be sharing some of our photos with you, and more importantly, the process that we went through to share our photos with all of our friends and family.
Very cool. All right. Well, we want to say hi to our friends, our live viewers. There's Debbie, greeting somewhere east of El Paso. She's headed to Florida from California.
She's RVing from California to Florida, and we look forward to seeing her.
And Laverne, love the way I can share my photos and travel adventures with all my friends. It's a pleasure learning from you over the past 100 to 150 years. Yeah.
Thanks, Laverne.
Yeah, really.
You too.
Looking forward to my favorite Sunday show. Well, we're glad to see you, Ron. Greetings from South Jersey. Will you be attending the FMCA West Virginia?
I don't know what rally that is. We go where we're invited, and whoever that is didn't invite us, the FMCA, but I'm sure we'll see you somewhere down the road.
Valentin from the Low Country of South Carolina. Tom Parks from Connecticut. Yeah. The Rinskys, Barbara, home in Denver for a while, looking forward to a lot of travel.
Amazing that she's home. I think
she's
she
always
does
traveling.
more travel than we do.
Amazing.
Thanks for your videos, Barbara.
And everybody remember to thumbs up. Dave visits his wife on Sunday, but went Saturday because it was her birthday. Happy birthday, Jan. And it's good to see you, David. All right. And Peggy George, Phoenix, Arizona. Cool.
Spent a lot of time in Arizona.
Yeah, we sure did. And then who do we have? Bill. And Karen, maybe. Rainy, 57 from Willamette Valley. Nice.
I think it's getting ready to rain here, too.
Yeah, we heard some thunder earlier. So anyway, very cool. And thank you to our premium members. Our premium members are what make our work possible. And for our premium members, we have the Backstage Pass. It's a Zoom meeting right after this show, live. We do a Zoom, and our premium members are all invited to come in. You get an email sometime earlier today, or you can go to the website, geeksontour.com, and get the link right there on the member login page. Okay, there's a book.
There is. If you don't know, I wrote a book called Learn Google Photos. And today we are covering some of the issues, not all of them, in chapter 8 and 9. Chapter 8 is all about organizing your photos and making albums. And chapter 9 is about sharing. And if you would like to get the book, just go to learngoogle.photos.com. You'll see all the different. You can get it in Kindle. The Kindle version is by far the cheapest, and I think it's great. You can search. And if you are a premium member of Geeks on Tour, you don't have to buy anything. It's already in your library, the PDF version.
Okay. See our photos from Italy.
So our
so you thought you were going to get away with yeah. Bucket popcorn? Did you bring popcorn?
So our photos from Italy. Yes, we made an album as we traveled through Italy, and we shared it by link to anybody who was interested in clicking the link. And for any of you who are viewing this and haven't seen our link, I am going to show you, number one, how you get a link and share it. And number two, I'm going to put it into the chat of this YouTube show so you can click on it and look at our album now if you want. So I'm going to share screen. And this is my Google Photos, just all of my photos. Where do I find the album? That's right here under albums. This is on a computer, of course. An awful lot of the time today, we will be demonstrating on our phones, but this is on the computer. And here it is, Italy trip, May 2022. You just click to open it. And now there's a couple different ways that you can share. The video that I showed you said click on the share button, but that's, and I can still do that. I can share and I can copy link and copy. But since I have already shared it, I can also click right here where all the people who have already joined, at the very left, there is a link. I click that and I can scroll down to where I see copy link. Now I can go to our chat and I will paste it in. So link to album. And you should now see the link in the chat of the YouTube show or the Facebook. And if you want to follow along, you can click that, or it's also on the homepage of our website, geeksontour.com. Right up at the top, there's a link to the photo album. So once you're looking at the album, I just want to scroll through and point out a couple of things. First of all, notice that some of these are posted by Chris Gould, some of them by Jim Gould, and then here's one by Judy Reinheimer. I'll talk about that, a friend who is following the link. And here's by Jim and Chris and Chris. So a shared album can have content that was added by multiple people if you have the collaboration setting on, and we'll talk more about that later. Now, this shows me, if I just scroll through the album, I will sometimes see a map. I will also sometimes see a block of text like that. But if I want to see an individual photo, you click on it. Now you can click the arrows and go through the photos, and you just see the photos. You also will see any description about the photo in the lower left-hand corner. So here's just photo after photo. When you are looking at the album this way, you will not see the maps and text blocks. They're special, and you only see them when you are out of individual view mode and in the whole album mode. Another thing, if you're not clicking through when you see a video, then you're missing some stuff. I want to find one in particular that was more towards the beginning. And you will hear sounds, for example. So here is, where is it? There we go. Notice when you see this little arrow and a time stamp, that means this is a video. And if you want to see and hear the video, you do need to click on it. So you click, and this is the view from our room in the Amalfi Coast area. But listen to the sound. That donkey woke us up in the morning. Quite an alarm bell. All right. And just one more thing to make a point of is that a lot of these pictures have descriptions. Now, if you are clicked through to the individual pictures, you do see descriptions in the lower left whenever there are any. And so, of course, I picked an area where there weren't any. But there is also another way. I'm going to go down to Rome and, okay, no, maybe it was Florence. I keep going to the Hercules. Here we go. So here is Hercules, and I think everybody should see the description of this picture, also known as a caption. Now, you see it in the lower left if you're viewing the full screen, or you can also click on the eye. Statue of Hercules trying to give his cat a pill. I like that. I thought that was funny. So those are just the different things to know about looking at an album that somebody else shared with you. You can look at the big picture of the album. You can look at the individual pictures. You can see captions, descriptions. You can view videos, etc. Okay. So that's just a little overview of the albums. Now, why do we call this episode Travel Photo Albums? Everything that we're teaching here today can be done with any kind of an album. I mean, if you like to share pictures of your family at Christmas time or just day-to-day life of your family, no problem. All these album features work the same. But if you are a traveler, like we and a lot of our friends are, then I think it's cool to know about sharing your album right in the beginning. So on day one, create your album and share the link with friends and family. Then, as you add videos each day, your friends and family will be seeing those videos. And to me, that helps me remember to add more too.
Yep.
Because we know that people are seeing them, they're making comments, they're liking. So we'll say, oh, we have to share these ones that we were at today. Then.
But you want to make sure that you do it right too.
Yeah, you should edit them first.
Yeah, I made that mistake. I added a bunch just because it was so easy. It just said, do you want to add these to the album? And I said, yeah. And so I added a whole bunch there without doing any editing, no cleaning up, and she freaked out.
Or no decision making. I mean, we took what, nearly 2,000 pictures in the month. In the month of Italy. You don't want to see all those in an album. No. You only want your best.
Right.
And so, yeah, Google will come up and say, do you want me to add all these photos you took today?
No, you don't.
Really. To this album? No, you need to be judicious about it.
Yeah, you should be.
And then when friends do join, so they click the link, they can see your album. There will be a way to join if they use Google Photos. Then they'll get notifications. I mean, if anybody here is in the chat, was following us during the month, then mention what it was like. You would get a notification when a new photo was added, and you could comment. All right, so just how do you do this? How do you make the album and share it? We have a little pre-recorded segment here, video 633. Hi, this is Chris Gould with Geeks on Tour, and I want to show you the quick and easy way to use Google Photos to keep your travel albums so that you are all done by the time you get home. Don't be like people who take a 1-week trip and say they took so many pictures it's going to take them 2 weeks once they get home to organize it. No, let me show you how. So first of all, we're using Google Photos. You recognize that icon, I hope. For purposes of this video, I'm going to take you back to December 2015 when my husband and I took a trip to Cuba, a very special trip. And I can just scroll right back there. So the first day of our trip was December 4, 2015. And here we are taking a selfie at the airport. Right away, what I'm going to do is start an album. You just swipe up on the photo and tap on Add to Album and New Album. Give it a name and tap the check mark. I now have an album started. And as I take more pictures, so remember, I'm pretending that we're just going on this trip right now. Got it? And I'm taking pictures all day. And I say, oh, I so like these pictures of the old cars. So I tap one. I say, gee, that looks pretty good. I want to add that to the album. Swipe up, Add to Album, and it will be in your recent 2015 Cuba trip. Now notice I have a lot of pictures of the old cars. Some people would say delete all the ones that you don't want to keep, and then what you're left with is the good ones. But I say I can't delete any of these. These are all great. But for purposes of my album, I'm just going to choose 1 or 2. Now here's one of my I really, really like this one. A red car. Swipe up, add to album, Cuba trip. Now realize you can be doing this as you're on the trip. You take a picture, you say that's a great one, you add it to the album. Done. Now I'm not saying you should never delete. I mean, this picture is obviously a mistake. I can just tap the trash can and it will be removed from my Google account and from the device that took the picture. But since Google gives me free unlimited storage, no reason to delete if I don't need to. You can also add videos to your album. I love this one. Swipe up, add to album, 2015 Cuba trip, and then go back to your library. If you see several you want, you can select them. Touch and hold, select another one, select another one, tap the plus, and add to 2015 Cuba trip. Now at this point in the trip, we took a bus from Havana to the Bay of Pigs, and I want that picture and that picture, and then we have to have some picture of food, right? Plus and Cuba trip. But I want some description in my album. So let's go take a look at the album now. Go to albums and 2015 Cuba trip, and there's just a bunch of pictures. Right at this point, I want a map and some text telling the story of our trip. To do that, you tap the 3 dots, edit album, and map, and done. You can drag it into place, touch and hold until it kind of gets attached to your finger, and move down to where you want it to be and let go. Now I also want to add some text. And check mark on the whole album. Now you will need Wi-Fi in order to do this while you're on the trip, and there wasn't much in Cuba, but pretty much every day we had some place where there was Wi-Fi, which would mean our photos were automatically uploaded and we could play with making our albums at any time while you're on the bus or waiting for dinner. No problem. And if you chose to share your album while still on your trip, your family and friends see your photos as you add them. And by the time you're home, it's all done. I see somebody said, how did you get internet in Cuba? Yeah, there was no cellular data at all. So it was only at the hotel and in certain public Wi-Fi hotspots.
Yeah, and they were pretty rare. But we did find, but the cool thing about it is we could work on our stuff during the day, and just when we had connection,
whenever we had connection,
we would upload and
do the uploads.
That was the way we did it. So yeah, let's see what else. What did you use to put captions on the photos?
And that was just Google Photos, but it's only the Android app has the markup. And I answered and I said, view video number something.
Okay.
I do have a video on using markup on the Android version of Google Photos, and that's how I put the words and the darkened background too, so you can see the words.
Yeah, and there's videos to show you how to do that. Getting a notification of the photos on a daily basis is great. Allowed us to follow along. Virtual Italian vacation.
Exactly. And some people will say, well, will you do that on Facebook? Yeah, sure, you can do that on Facebook. But at the end of a month of making Facebook posts, what do you have to show for it? If we're using Google Photos, you have this completed album that you can then, that's yours, not just all these variety of posts on Facebook.
Yeah,
you still post it on Facebook.
Yeah, I did occasionally.
Yeah. But if you followed our album, you got everything.
You got
day
all
to
the
day.
pictures. Yeah. I just like to do that on the phone, not yet on the web version. I guess that's
Correct.
the markup stuff.
Yep.
Yeah.
Correct.
Okay. Yeah, she liked getting those too. True that.
All right.
Okay. Bonnie, is there a way to see how many photos are in an album?
Yeah, let me show that. If you are looking at your Google Photos and just the albums, notice it says right here, this Jim and Chris one, 12,896 items. Italy trip May 22, 231 items. So yes, if you're looking at the big picture of your albums, each one shows how many items. That means photos and videos are in it.
Okay.
Okay.
That looks good.
Back to
Let's
slides.
see. All right.
All right.
Edit first, then add. Very important.
Okay. So you only want the best photos. You know, you don't, we took 2,000. People would not stand for that.
No.
You just want your best. So we put our best in each day, and we have 231 items. Edit them first. You know, make sure they are as good as they can possibly be. This example on the right there shows what the shot of Mount Etna looked like, and then the bottom one is what it looked like after editing. That's a better picture.
Yeah.
So it's a good habit, but also if you had already added the photo to your shared album, when you're looking at it on your phone, you cannot edit it now. You can't edit it from within the album. I don't know why, but you can't. So it's really a good way to go. So try to write a description for every photo. It just helps later, you know, to know exactly what it was. And add to album. You can either open the photo and add it to the album, or you can open the album and add photos to it. You know, two different ways of getting there. And I don't think I need a demo of this, so we're going to skip that.
Collaboration.
Collaboration. So I created the album. That means I own it. But I wanted Jim to be able to add his photos too. So to do that, I have to have the collaboration setting on. So first I want to show you how I turn that on or off, and then we're going to have Jim add a photo. So in the album, so I have to open Italy trip May 2022, and then the 3-dot menu and options. And we'll talk about these options again later, but notice I have collaborate off. Now collaborate is on by default, but since we have now put out this link to so many people, I turn collaboration off so that we don't get somebody spamming our album. But so I'm going to turn it back on right now so that Jim can add. So collaboration is now on, and let's show them your phone, Jim.
Okay, I've already opened up to Google Photos, so there we go.
And you took some better photos at that.
Yeah, the mosaics.
At the mosaics than
right.
I did.
So yeah, just scroll on down. I've started a couple of them. There you go. So that's one that you want to probably rotate. And so you get, do you notice that these women are wearing bikinis? So you thought bikinis started back in the 60s. No, or 50s. No. They started way back with who were those guys? Those were the Carthaginians or Greeks. Anyway, so she's rotated and doing a little bit of cropping there and some suggestions. Try and enhance and see. Yeah, it looks a little bit better, but I bet you could use some of the other stuff. Yeah, adjustments, either HDR or maybe pop at the end there.
Oh, I think HDR is under tool. No.
No, it was there under adjust. It's
Oh,
right
okay,
there.
okay.
Try that and then move it on up. Oh yeah. See how much better that
Oh,
is?
yeah.
Yeah. So that looks a lot better. And save it. Done. Save a
See,
copy.
now save copy. That's another reason why you want to edit before you add, because sometimes, depending on the editing tools you use,
And HDR is one where you pretty much it makes you do a save a copy. So that's the one that you want to add. So I would even star that and then add it to album. So 3 buttons, add to album, choose the Italy May trip, and there you go. Va bene.
Va bene.
Va bene. Okay, so I
Okay.
want to get another one of those too. So go on back and back to my photos. And let's see, there was a dark one there. Okay, this is you.
Yeah, you have to kind of zoom in to see that
She was
I'm
peeking behind
out.
between the columns. So we did that in a few places. That was fun. But it's kind of do an edit and try and enhance, see if that does anything. That helps a little bit, but maybe do some shadow stuff. A little bit of cropping. Yeah, you can bring that in.
And what'd you say? Shadows?
Shadows, they're over here. Yeah, maybe bring out the shadows there. That puts a little light in the shadows.
Okay.
Okay, so that's pretty good. So go ahead and save that. And it lets you save as a copy or just save. You can always undo. So if you have the choice to save, I usually just do the save instead of save a copy. And that's start and add that to the album. Cool. Do you want to do one more?
No, that's
Okay,
enough.
that's enough.
Okay, so now when we go back to the album, or those of you who have joined the album probably just got some notifications. Actually, I
Okay.
haven't heard them. Yeah, just got notification that 2 new photos were added to the album.
Yeah.
And that was added by Jim, even though I am the owner of the album. But now I'm going to go back in and turn collaboration off again because, sorry, I don't want anybody else's photos in here. So
Okay. So yeah.
So back into options and collaboration, and I'm going to turn it off. So anytime Jim decides that he has a couple more photos to add to it, I can just go and turn collaboration back on, let him add, and then turn it off again.
And somebody could get in there, but probably not.
Yeah.
Okay.
Now I got a notification that
yeah, I got notifications
that
too.
new photos were added.
And some new likes too. So isn't that nice?
Cool.
Okay. How to follow someone else's album.
All right. So when you click the link, you will see the album. And you should, if you use Google Photos, you will have the option to join the album. So we recommend doing that. That means you will get the notifications. Now, anybody can see the pictures in the album, but you do have to have a Google account and use Google Photos in order to join, get notifications, and leave comments.
Okay. Mickey wants to know, is there a way to tell in Google Photos when you've moved a photo to an album? You don't need the photo in both places. That's a misconception,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah. Sorry. When a photo is in an albums are not like folders. It sounds, Mickey, like you're thinking of folders on a computer that you copy a photo from a main system to a folder. No, all photos in Google Photos are in your library. Any one that you put in an album is just virtually in the album. So you cannot remove it from the library. If you do, it's gone. It's removed from the album as well. So no, it is in your library, and then you specify which album or albums you want it to show up in. But if you delete it from the library, it's gone from everywhere.
Is it possible to add photos to an album on your phone and upload it to Google Photos later? I'm going on a tour where we won't have any internet or phone signal for nearly a week.
Yeah. Google Photos acts like a gallery. So if you open your Google Photos app, you will see the photos you took today, whether they have gotten uploaded or not. And yes, you can create an album. Now, nobody else will be able to see that album until such time as you have an internet connection and they all get uploaded. But you can do that work even without an internet connection. Yes.
Okay, Barbara did the people-to-people visit to Cuba. Can you do that today?
I don't know.
I don't know either.
I think so.
Yeah. Okay.
I don't know.
Yeah.
It was with what? Who did we go with?
Road Scholar.
Road Scholar. ROAD Scholar.
She liked the pulling the cat.
Oh, thank you.
Can you turn collaboration on to allow one person and turn it off so others cannot?
Yes. Exactly. Yes, you can. So I just did.
Okay. She took the same bikini pic.
Yes.
We did see that.
We saw that in your videos.
And
Great
you were
videos.
Even on the same boat that we went on, right?
In Amalfi, yeah.
In Amalfi. The same exact.
Morally, something like that.
Something like that, yeah. Okay, one more. Descriptions you add saved with the photo if you download the photo or save it to Apple Photos.
No. So what's the question again? Are the descriptions you add saved with the photo if you download the photo or saved Apple Photos? No. No. They only exist in Google Photos. And yeah, I don't like that either, but that's the way it is.
Okay. All right. More slides.
More slides. So just one thing to know, if you have joined somebody else's album, you have the choice to leave comments. You have to have joined it. So to leave comments. And then you also have the choice to either view the album or to view all the activity on the album. And I want to show you that. So here on the computer, here is the album, here is the activity. If I close the activity, I'm just seeing the album. If I want to see the activity, you click on this little, it looks like a comment bubble, a speech bubble. You click on that and it opens up this side panel so we can see that the most recent activity on this album is that Jim added the picture with the bikinis and Jim added the picture with me poking out behind the column, and Jolin liked one of those photos. Now on the phone, it's the same, but it looks different because the phone screen is smaller. So if I go I have to tap on library and then all my albums show up. There's the Italy album. And now I am seeing the album. If I tap on the little comment bubble, speech bubble, the whole screen switches to seeing the activity, the comments, the photos that were added, etc., etc. If you want to go back to just viewing the album, you click the X out of the activity. So activity, album, activity, album. Whereas on the computer, you can see the album and the activity is just a right sidebar. Okay. And I think that's it for following somebody else's album. Yeah.
Issues when opening a link.
Okay. So I told you that if you share a link, anybody can see your photos who can click on that link. But I had some people tell me, no, I got a message saying that I have to give Google Photos access to all my photos in order to see your album. I said, no, that can't be. It doesn't work that way. If you click the link, you can see my photos. But then I discovered somebody showed me the message on their phone, and it took some investigation. But what I figured out is this was somebody's phone. It happened to be an iPhone. And they had the Google Photos app installed, but they had never opened it and set it up. When they clicked the link to view my album, it tried to open that link in the Google Photos app. And in order to open up the app, it had to go through these installation to access their photos. Now, I consider that kind of a bug. The first screen is what you should see. When you click on the link to my album, you should have the option of opening in the app. If you use the Google Photos app, then yeah, that's the best way to go. But if you don't use the Google Photos app, you should be able to choose stay with the web. The only way I figured out to fix the person on the right's problem was to uninstall, was to delete the Google Photos app from their phone. They weren't using the Google Photos app, so that's fine. Remove it. Then they can click on the link to my album and see those photos. So just in case you get people telling you, I can't see your photos, and you shared it with a link, those are the issues.
Okay, album options.
Album options. We did a little bit of this. If you open the album, click the three dots and choose options, you will see location. And the default is to not share location. I hate that.
Well,
so I turn that off. I turn it back on. Sorry. I do want to share the location. And
because we're a vacation, we want to see the
we want people,
locations.
We want the friends to be able to open the photo, click on the information, and see a map of where that photo was taken.
Right.
But unless you go into options and turn that on, they won't be able to see. It's a privacy issue. Yeah. And sometimes they protect us more than we want to be protected. Collaborate, we already talked all about that. Comments and likes, as the owner of the album, you can allow or disallow comments and likes. That is on by default. And link sharing, you want to be able to share by link. So if next year you changed your mind and you say, I no longer want anybody to see these photos, you can remove the link sharing option. And the last thing is album cover photo, and that I do want to show you. And I'll just do that back on the computer. So these are all my albums. I'm looking at Google Photos on the computer, and I'm looking at albums. And so the cover photo for the Italy trip is this one where there's a collage of 2017 when we were in Italy and 2022 when we were in the same place in Italy. Let's say I want to change that to a picture of the Colosseum. I open it up, I find the picture I want, and we'll find the Colosseum here. Yeah, the picture of Jim and me at the Colosseum. Click on that, click the three dots, and use as album cover. Now, if I go back out, I should see under albums that Italy trip now has the Colosseum as the album cover. Very easy. Change it as many times as you want.
All right.
And then when you get home, your album's all done.
That's great. That's the best part.
Yeah.
You don't have to do any work when you might still be adding some things.
We've added a few,
sure.
But there are a couple things that you should do. Once your album is completely done, you should save it. Save it to your computer, and you do that with download. And that's video 574, but I don't think, we're not going to take the time. Video 574 talks about how to download. I can just show it to you real quick. back on the computer because you would be downloading this to your computer. You open the album and then click the three dots and download all. You then will be asked for a location. Where do you want to download it to? I do it to an external hard drive that has a backup of all my photos, and notice that it makes a zip file. So that's just for safekeeping. One thing to know, it only downloads the photos and videos. It does not download these text blocks or the maps.
Yeah.
And that's too bad. It's a highly requested feature to get those maps and the text blocks as part of the album.
Mm-hmm. That's pretty cool.
Okay, back to slides.
All right.
Other thing you might want to do is order a photo book. We also have a video on how to make these photo books. If you already have an album of photos, so this is when we were in Italy in 2017. If you have an album of photos, it's single click easy. You open the album, you click the three dots, make me a photo book, and you get this. Once again, you only get the pictures. Yeah. You don't get the maps and the text box.
And you don't get any videos.
No. I should put a QR code.
Yeah, that would be cool.
A QR code for videos.
I bet you could do that. Make your own.
You could make your own, yeah. Yeah.
Okay. And add albums to your web page of photo albums and add the album to your photo frame. We've done that over here.
Yeah, but it's
it's on different pictures.
Yeah, I added it, but to no, never mind. Never mind. It's showing lots of different pictures, but it is showing the Italy pictures, and that's on every TV screen and Google device in our house. It's showing our Italy pictures.
And on one of the TVs, I have it just showing
the Italy pictures.
The one Italy. So you can choose which albums are showing. So, that's a nice picture.
Yeah, but then that one's different.
Yeah, okay. All right, questions? Leave them in the comments and we'll try and answer them later. Where are we?
I think we answered a few.
Yeah, we did. Let's see. I have one here. Can I combine photos in two albums into one album?
Yeah. I mean, there's no command to combine two albums, but you open one album, select all the photos, click the three dots and add to album and choose the other one. So now you've just taken all the photos from one album and added them to the other. So now you have a combined.
Okay. So many photos, it's hard to remember which ones have been added to an album. What do you suggest?
Well, yeah, that is well, let me show you one thing. On the computer, the web version of Google Photos, you can look at the info of a photo and see what album it's in. So I will click on this photo and it tells me that is in the 2022 All Italy album, but it's not in the Italy 2022 album.
Trip album.
The Trip album, yeah. And I can open this one and it's in the All It. Yeah, I made one that had all 2,000 pictures in it. And then one, so let me just scroll back to a previous year here. And here's a photo of me, and it is in 4 different albums. So you can see on the info panel what albums any one photo is in, but there is no way. I would love it if they had some kind of hash on some kind of icon on this view, letting you know that they were in an album. But
Okay, the photo of you two in front of the Coliseum is now the photo album cover. Yeah, we like that one.
yeah, that's a cool one.
Karen suggested taking a photo of the map and add it to your album. Yeah, you can do a screenshot. You can do all sorts of things.
Yeah, I think I did that in the Italy trip album. There it is. The second picture is a screenshot of Google Maps with all the, oh, but you mean to go through these? Yes, but you would have to do the same thing with the text blocks too, if you want them. So she's saying take a screenshot, a screen grab of this map and that text, then make that a picture that goes into your book. Yes, that's a good suggestion.
Right. Okay, sharing on the hub brings back lots of memories. Yep, we have it on all the because we have Chromecast everywhere. When you have multiple copies of the same photo, does it use additional memory or just the memory for the original?
Yeah, your photo only exists once. It's only stored once, and that is in your giant stream of all your photos, which I call the library. It's just showing up in the different albums. It is not taking any more storage. So I can have one picture that shows up in 4 different albums, but it's only stored once.
Okay, is there a limit on Google Photos and how many albums you can have? Do duplicate photos and albums count towards your storage?
Yeah, so same answer. No, duplicate photos in albums do not count towards your storage. And I don't think there's a limit on the number of albums. I have a few thousand. So, I mean, and I haven't hit any limit.
Okay.
Pretty sure there's no limit on number of albums.
Okay. Very cool.
There is a limit on the number of photos in an album, 20,000. I think we can manage with that.
I think you probably can. Okay, well, did you learn something? True or false? We have some questions for you. If you share Google Photos album using a link, anyone can see your photos by clicking that link. No Google account required. True or false?
Absolutely true.
All right. If you view a friend's album and see your little face at the top of it, that means you have A, joined, B, subscribed to, C, enrolled, or D, copied the album and will be notified of changes.
Joined is the word. Joined.
In order for others to add their photos to your album, the album setting must be on for what? Multiplayer, partners, collaboration, or teams?
Collaboration, C.
Okay, true or false? You can choose the cover photo for your album.
True.
Hey.
As many, you can change it as many times as you want to.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. True or false? You must use Google Photos in order to comment on a shared photo.
True. If you want to interact, you need to use Google Photos.
Okay, and when you're finished adding to the album, you should keep it safe by A, copying to another account, B, posting on Facebook, or C, downloading to computer.
C, downloading to your computer.
Okay, I want to remind our premium members that we have the backstage pass right after this show ends, and we have an online meeting. It's using Zoom. You should have gotten the link in an email Chris sent out earlier, or you can go to geeksontour.com and the member login page, and the link is right there. Okay, remember to sign up for our newsletter. It's free newsletters. You get them not too often, but just often enough.
Once a month.
Yeah.
Once a month for the main one, and then up to once a week.
Nah, that doesn't
when I
happen
feel
anymore.
like it.
So sign up. Members get the newest edition of the book, geeksontour.com/ebooks. You can download that and any of the other publications we have. Become a member at geeksontour.com. Subscribe to this channel, like this on Facebook, and do all of the things that you're supposed to do. And let's see, Chris, what's the webpage that lists all of our YouTube shows?
Geeksontour.com is the website. Then the menu item is YouTube show.
And the webpage that lists all of our recent newsletters.
Geeksontour.com, and the menu item is blogs and news. You'll find all the newsletters for the last 15 years under there.
And counting. Yeah, and the latest one just came out this week. Okay, and why do people pay $60 a year to join Geeks on Tour?
Well, there are lots of member benefits. You can ask us any questions on our Q&A page, the Backstage Pass, where we have private meetings just for members on Zoom, access to hundreds of Show Me videos, written notes of these shows, and a lot of people join just to say thank you for everything that we do for free, and we thank you. That's how we are able to do this.
Key Pass.
Ah, thanks, Kevin. I understand. Yeah, he was talking about, and Jolin knows about this too. We were talking about LastPass, and he had all his passwords copied over to Google Drive, I think, but that was KeyPass. Okay, good to know.
You don't need to apologize.
Yeah, no apology necessary, but good to know. Thanks.
All right. Go ahead. If you're not a member, you can join now and join us backstage. That would be a lot of fun. It's great. Backstage Pass. Get it now. That's it for us this week. I'm Jim.
I'm Chris.
And we are
Geeks on Tour.
And we will see you next time.